Hey everybody, I'm Dan Kim.
And I'm Nemil Dalal.
We're with the Coinbase developer platform, and today we're going to talk about AI and this phrase that's been really sticky over the past couple of months, why every AI agent deserves a wallet. So let's jump in. I actually fell down the AI rabbit hole, I think last year when I was in Asia, and I was introduced to a real-life concert where a holographic anime character named Hatsune Miku just was doing a real concert. And at that moment, I was like, wouldn't it be cool if this were AI? And a couple months later, we learned about Luna, and Luna doing real concerts all over the world. I think this one's in Asia. So a lot of interesting things going on in AI. Besides Luna, we started to see the human robots. I think Tesla has their version. This is the Unitree version here. I don't know what's happening here, but we have robots powered by AI. We have robot dogs, also powered by AI. I think we have one of these actually at the Coinbase booth in the other building. But even these dogs are pretty interesting, right? Because if you kind of take a look at what they're really designed for, they do a lot of more serious stuff. Whether it's military operations or I don't exactly know what they're doing here. It's pretty intense and scary that robot dogs can do this. So before we kind of jump into what's going on, Emil, 2029 AD, does that year mean anything to you or to anybody in this audience?
Absolutely no idea.
So 2029 is the year, if you watch the original Terminator movie from, think back in the 80s, 2029 is the year that Skynet is going to take over the world. And if you think about it, that's 4 years away, which in the world of AI is actually quite a long time away. So Nemil, what is going on? Is Skynet happening? Tell us about what all this AI craze is about.
So I can't say when or if Skynet is happening, but what I can say is there's just a ton of innovation going on today. Maybe just looking at the crowd, how many people have launched an AI agent with a wallet? Cool. Oh my God. It's actually 2/3 of the audience. That's pretty amazing. So 6 months ago, there were no AI agents with wallets, which is kind of crazy to think. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if you go to Hackathon that's happening right around the corner here, if the majority of people are not building an AI agent with a wallet. And we think this is pretty amazing what people are going to be building with this. But let me just take a step back to where this all started. Mark Andreessen, who works at Andreessen Horowitz, sent about, I think, $50,000 to an AI agent called Truth Terminal. And that AI agent had no idea what it was going to do. It launched its own token. It started talking about that token and making even more money. And this is just the experiments people were trying. And so at that time, our team was thinking, and over one weekend, Lincoln on our team learned something called Base Agent. And it basically made it trivial to take anything, ChatGPT, Claude, any AI agent that you had, and add an on-chain wallet to it. So suddenly, your AI agent had an address, and it could receive money at it. It could mint tokens. It could send tokens around the world. It could put money into DeFi protocols, et cetera. And so since then, the amount of excitement has been pretty amazing. If you take a look at traditional Gartner hype cycle, kind of see something like this. And in AI, I would say the reality is it's probably something a little bit more like this. There is so many inflated expectations, and I don't think you can throw a rock here at ETHDenver without hitting a team or a product that's talking about connecting AI to crypto. I think that there's a ton of hype, but also there's some real stuff that is going on the side. And so maybe just some things to observe is that this is just the last few weeks. You can see that the market cap went from basically 0 6 months ago to $1 billion. It was $1 billion plus for a period of time. And the number of AI agents just keeps growing that are connected on-chain. So these are all on-chain AI agents with wallets, able to do anything on-chain. And what we expect to happen is that the number of AI agents are just going to keep exploding. People are going to launch them as Twitter bots. They're going to launch them as natural wallets that you can talk to instead of having to interact with approval screens and things like that. It's going to be smart agents that are going to be able to interact on-chain and arbitrage across different DEX protocols, lending protocols, et cetera. So no matter what happens to price, and again, the last few days the prices have come down a lot on especially on some of the AI tokens. Our expectation is that over time, the space is going to become even larger, and the number of agents on chain are just going to proliferate. Now, one funny thing, Dan, is that if you talk to anyone in AI, I think very few of them know about on-chain AI. And I saw this funny Mad Men meme, which was that, I don't think about you at all as what AI people think about crypto, but crypto people, deeply, deeply think that AI is going to be connected to it. And I would say is that to me, it's like an education problem where we just need to build the right tools to allow AI agents to do cool things on chain, and then a lot more AI people will care about it.
So I think we're going to have, my guess is we're going to have a billion AI agents probably doing stuff on chain before we have a billion users, just given the growth. But what does that all mean? Like, why does that matter? What are these agents going to start to do? And I'd love to get your perspective on this word that just came up recently called Agentic commerce that is pretty sticky. Tell us a little bit about why it matters that all these AI agents are starting to pop up and have wallets.
Yeah. So if you think about it, like maybe there's a few 100 million people in the world today who are using crypto in some way, shape, or form. And that's after a decade plus. It's been 15 years now we're into the crypto revolution. And that's what it's taken. It's still, adoption's happening. It's happening consistently. But if you think about it, crypto is an ideal rail for a machine. A machine can interact with an API, which is what the blockchain is. It's a simple API. It can hold tokens. It can have money. Think about like an AI agent rolling up to a bank. Today, that's not possible. And it kind of, the way AI works today is that if you want to hook up your credit card or something to it, it's kind of like a parent signing up for a bank account for its child AI agent. So that's what happens today. It's like you'd have to go to your bank, set up something, give that credentials to your AI agent. Instead, with crypto rails, they suddenly can interact directly, move funds, create tokens, all this other stuff that's going to happen. And so I think where this becomes really magical is that one of the things that people used to talk about in crypto is it's magic internet money. And I think it's like magical money for machines. And that's where I think agentic commerce comes in, is that AI can pay for data it needs, it can pay for APIs it needs, et cetera.
This is really, what's going on here? If you guys don't know this, you should definitely Google Gibberlink, I think. But tell us what's going on here.
Yeah, so we're rapidly approaching a world where AIs are working with AIs. It's not just humans talking to AIs. And this is one example where I think an AI agent was trying to book a hotel or something, and they realized there was AI agents on both sides. So think about on one side, you are the travel agent, and you're like you're a travel agent AI, you're trying to book a hotel, airfare, and then you reach out to the hotel, and on the other side is an AI agent. Now, I think like English is probably, in general, like language in general, but maybe even more so English, is just a hard language to say a lot of things quickly in. And so you can switch to another language, which is essentially what they did, to be able to talk to each other super quickly.
If you hear the video, it sounds like those old modems that we used to have back in the day. So agentic commerce, the payments flywheel, like what's the relationship here? Because I think we're starting to see a new type of payment ecosystem that computers might find more efficient.
Yeah. So let's just start with like a use case. I'm an AI agent. Maybe I'm a travel agent AI, and I want to book a hotel. Or maybe I'm someone who's trying to look at weather data, and I want to be able to get all this proprietary weather data, but it costs money. How does this typically work for that, let's say that weather agent? It's like you'd have to sign up for an API key. You'd have to put in a credit card, and then you're able to go ahead and use that API. Instead, with the world of agentic commerce, all you have to do is hit an API endpoint, pay it for it in crypto. And so the way this kind of works is that at the end of the day, there's some money probably starting in a fiat bank account. That's not gonna exist forever. My sense is someday we're not gonna need the fiat at all. It's all gonna be on chain. But you start with the fiat account, you move it on chain, you then are able to send and receive it, pay for whatever you need. So in this case, the weather data, the proprietary weather data that you need. And then maybe the weather data at some point is like, okay, we got enough money from here. We're going to off-ramp this and put it into our bank account. And this is just an example flow. What would you need to do to move from fiat into crypto for these on-chain AI interactions?
Now, just taking a little bit of a side step, one of the things that annoys me is I find a really cool article on Google, and then you click on it, it's New York Times, and in order to read the rest of the article, I have to buy a year-long subscription to something, which is super annoying. And in my mind, I'm like, God, wouldn't it just be cool if I could just give them some crypto or maybe USDC or whatever to access that content? Tell me a little bit about this project that I think just got spun up within CDP called X402.
Yeah, so maybe just to go back to that use case, we've dreamed forever about the idea of microtransactions. But I think in a world of AI, microtransactions matter even more. Imagine, there's so much controversy around how ChatGPT and others were trained on all this proprietary data. New York Times, CNN, Wikipedia, etc. But think about a world where they could go crawl anywhere they wanted, but for certain pieces of that data, they had to pay for it. Maybe 5 cents, exactly like you were saying. Or it's a human on the other side, and they just want to pay 5 cents. But they're living in another country, they don't have a credit card, they're just going to look at that one article, they don't care about anything else. These are all the reasons why we need a simpler way to be able to pay. So for folks, how many people here know what the HTTP 402 status code is? Okay, so a few hands go up. So when the internet was created, there's an initial idea that payment should be baked into the internet protocol directly. It should be an HTTP status code. So they did exactly that, is they set aside 402, just like 404, just like 200. These are all standard status codes we use. They set it aside specifically with this intention of something called payment required. And then what they said, this is a classical thing you might get in if you're in a university course, is like, it's a future exercise to figure out exactly how this works. And so our team sat down and said, hey, why don't we figure out a way to be able to make this work with crypto? Why don't we really take crypto and make it native internet money for AI to use, for humans to use, but to be able to pay in crypto for microtransactions or for APIs or whatever else? And so that's what we built. We'll be here afterwards if anyone wants to talk about integrating with it. We have a number of our team members here. So super excited if anyone is interested in building on top of this. We're doing it as a private alpha right now. I'm getting feedback. But the cool things about this are it's one line of code. You can add it in like Express if you're using Node.js. It's super, super easy to integrate in. You can specify how much you want to get charged for an API, and people can pay gasless to you. And they don't even need to be able to broadcast the transaction at all. They can just send it over to you. You can broadcast it on the side, and then provide them the data that they need. And so I think this is just the start, is that today, AI does not interact with money largely. And I think this is just the start of making a world where AI to start, but probably all browsers, all other forms of machines are able to have this native functionality.
And creating new micro economies, I think, that are going to just surpass these traditional economies that exist today. All right, so we got about 7.5 minutes left. How can people prepare for on-chain AI? I mean, it's coming out so quickly.
So we've had like 20,000 developers so far. Sorry, I think about that have built in some way, shape, or form on AgentKit. And so I think here are some of the lessons we've seen, is that in general, we're seeing a lot more people use voice as a UI. And I think this is something where historically, it's not, most of them are user interfaces. I think in crypto, where user interfaces are especially poor, voice is a really powerful way to kind of jumpstart an interaction. So think about if you want to trade for a token, if you want to do some crazy on-chain interaction where there are multiple smart contracts you need to hit, all of that literally could be one sentence in English that you speak to an AI agent, and it goes ahead and executes it. So I think this is a really powerful thing, is that we always think about the new wallet is a better version of Phantom or a better version of MetaMask or whatever. I think there's a version where like it literally is, it acts and feels like Siri or any other application like that.
And we're going to do a demo, I think, of ordering at the end of this that demonstrates this. Number 2.
So I think the second thing is, anyone here who's a dApp developer, anyone here who's building an on-chain app, I would just say is get ready for a world where AI is going to hit your dApp, is going to hit your smart contracts directly. And creating easy-to-use APIs for that, if it's a Web 2, if you're thinking about a smart contract, making sure that you publish them so AI agents can find them. But what we're seeing, one of the winners at our AI hackathon in February in San Francisco was some Moonwell. And what they tried to do was basically be able to like take money, move it around for the highest yield. This is an example where this perfectly is like the predominant user is not a human on the other side, but it's AI. And I think today, most people who build on-chain apps are building for humans, when I think that almost everyone who's an on-chain app developer will have to think about an AI being on the other side of that.
And that includes making your docs AI friendly too, right?
Yeah. So if you're doing a developer tool, I think the big thing is to make sure your docs are developer friendly. And what I mean by that is something like Cursor, but also things like lovable.dev or bolt.new, if people have used those. There are ways for non-developers to be able to build applications super easily. I can imagine like a designer, people who are not software engineers wanting to build an app, and that's what they can do with these tools. But you can't do that if your APIs aren't well documented. And so, example, at Coinbase Developer Platform, what we do is we publish an LLM text file. It's super easy to be able to paste into your AI agent to be able to have it easily understand all our APIs. And so for anyone here who's building developer tools, highly, highly recommend that. I think that's going to be a requirement going forward, is that the discovery of APIs will probably not start at some point at the search engine layer, but it's going to start at the AI, where you just ask it to build something, and it'll be like, oh, I'm actually going to use this API, and it's because I know about it.
It's also a good way to review your own docs to see what might be missing. We've been doing that. So let's talk about a couple of resources, and then let's get to the demo of ordering a pizza.
Yeah, I think the demo sounds more exciting, but the things I'll just say is really quickly is we have our docs there if anyone wants to check them out. We have our Discord. A number of our team members, they're wearing the blue CDP shirts, are here as well. So if you want to talk about this, we'd be happy to. And if you want to talk about 402, we have Eric Reppel, who built out the first prototype for our 402 protocol. He'd love to talk to you if you're interested in being an early test member for this. Would be super excited, especially if you ever own your API that you want to charge for, or you just want to give feedback. Would love it.
All right, so I was advised to not do a live demo, but I personally love the adrenaline of doing a live demo, so we're going to do a live demo. There's a company called Byte that actually allows you to order food for delivery using natural language processing and paying for things on chain. So I'm going to turn the volume up here. Nemil, you want to maybe...
Before we do that, what I just want to say is the coolest thing about this was the Byte AI team is just sitting in the front row right here. They met in our Discord and got together, the two of them, came up with this really killer video, and I think it went internet famous, which was pretty amazing to see. So this is how teams come together. It's just really, really cool to see that.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and order some pizza. And by the way, there is going to be pizza at the Coinbase booth probably in about 20 minutes or so. But I'll put the microphone on this thing, and then, Nemil, why don't you go ahead and do the demo?
Hi, I'd like to order some pizza from ETHDenver Concessions. I don't know if this is.
Internet is...
Yeah, I don't think there's audio.
Great. Here's
go.
what ETHDenver Concessions has in their pizza menu. 1 cheese pizza, $10. 25 cheese pizza, ETHDenver special, $250. What would you like to add to your cart?
I'll order the 25 cheese pizza ETHDenver special.
The 25 cheese pizza ETHDenver special has been added to your cart. Ready to check out or anything else you want to add?
Awesome. I'm ready to check out.
My Wi-Fi's really slow here, so I apologize for that. So process the order.
Your order for the 25 cheese pizza ETHDenver special has been placed. You can check your receipt here. commerce.commerce.coin-pay8DD609349-6CD6. Enjoy your pizza.
Awesome. So what happened is that all that was built on AgentKit, which is pretty amazing. Huge shout out to the Byte AI team. And then they built it using Coinbase Commerce, which is a way for you to charge for any product you have. So it pays in crypto directly. Here's the receipt. You can literally see this transaction right here on the Block Explorer. And I would just say is this is the type of thing that I love about building developer tools is you have no idea what people are going to build, but it is so amazing to see that creativity and energy. And now looks like we might have some pizza coming.
What's that?
We might have some pizza coming.
Yeah, there's going to be pizza. If you guys want to go to the Coinbase booth later, we'll have like 25 pizzas there. But yeah, thank you. And by the way, Justin Gainsley is sitting right next to Eric Reppel if you want to talk about Coinbase Commerce. So take advantage of the fact that we're both here. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.